I think we've come full circle ever since Topaz's release all the way back then and up until now. I actually have made a video talking about how she wasn't going to be absolutely great right now, and then going forward and fast forwarding up until version 1.6, now that is a whole different story. Not only in version 1.6 did we get one support for Ruan-Mei, we also got another very needed character for Topaz's team. And seeing what Topaz can do now, seeing how great she is right now, seeing all the buffs that she got today up until present day, ever since her release, there has just been so many buffs, so many great additions to her team, so many added roles that she's able to do because of all that's happened ever since her release. And today I do want to talk about Topaz and why she's by far one of the better units in the game, just because, well, we finally got what we wanted and we finally got what she needed in order to be the top tier that she needed to be. And Kafka's about to follow suit. We're about to see Black Swan. We're about to see that she is going to be on the stream, hopefully, most likely, and 100% probably going to be a dot character. It's going to be very exciting for these two characters, too, that have been at the top of the list for a very long time in the terms of very well invested units, just because they work on almost every team that you are going to be putting them on when it comes to fulfilling the mechanics that they're going to be on. Topaz, of course, for the follow-up attacks, and then Kafka for the dots. And looking at Topaz and how she's been faring up until now, and seeing the 2 new 5-stars in version 1.6 have buffed her, it's been an absolutely amazing thing. Going forward to looking at Topaz's kits, of course, we all know that her proof of dead state is the overall end-all be-all of what's going to be what her actual damage is, or what she's going to be doing when it comes to supporting allies and helping out follow-up attacks, especially ones that are directed, which, of course, looking at Dr. Ratio, our brand new hunt unit, who's able to direct and even target an enemy specifically and non-stop follow attack at them, especially when you have your ultimate up, when you have the debuffs down, which Topaz and Numby 100% do count as the debuff from the proof of dead state. Something like Dr. Ratio can unleash a crazy amount of follow-up attacks on top of the character, boosting Numby's to the top of the list and making some stupid combos with Dr. Ratio throwing the chalk, Numby coming in, throwing chalk, Numby coming in. It's a lot of damage, and especially if you have a well-built Topaz and Numby, you are 100% going to love this, especially with any other follow-up attack characters too, because Topaz and Numby aren't only there for the damage that they deal, which especially with the brand new relic set that we did get, which is the follow-up set, which is going to increase her attacks by so much. She's going to get so much out of this, and the fact that all of her attacks from her skill, from her ultimate, from her normal attack, or all follow-up attacks, all of her damage is just increased 100% fold when it comes to having this on versus all the other options. We had the fire option at first, and now we have the follow-up set. We have Inner Cell Soto. Perfectly made sets for Topaz and Numby. And for anybody that has a follow-up attack when it comes to characters like Dr. Ratio, when it comes to characters like Jinyuin, all these other characters that would love these buffs, Herta, Himiko, it's just, she has everything that she needs now. And not only that, with Dr. Ratio coming out for the hunt path for this type of team, something that she really loves, why not put Topaz and Dr. Ratio on a team with the other version 1.6 character, which is Ruan-Mei, and seeing what Ruan-Mei is able to do, especially with her being able to shift the meta in a whole new direction, open up a viable path for dual DPS. Topaz is even more buffed up from this, not because that Ruan-Mei is such a good support, but for the fact that since her team basically buffs out everybody, it buffs out the main DPS, it buffs out the sub DPS. Someone like Topaz and Numby can fulfill either role. Either they can be the main DPS for your team, or they can be the sub DPS, buffing out even more another DPS, something like Dr. Ratio, something like Jinyuin. And being able to have not only one character that can direct their follow-up attacks and secure that they are going to be pushing Numby up forward, giving Topaz and Numby more damage, giving them more attacks. You also have another 5-star that came out in this patch that is basically fulfilling all the conditions needed to make Topaz and Numby such an amazing unit, and not having to single out one unit or another. With Ruan-Mei, you don't have to choose who gets the buff and which character is not going to get those damage buffs. Now both of them do it. That toughness break efficiency, something that Ruan-Mei has specifically, is something super strong for someone like Topaz to have, especially if you're comboing it with other follow-up attack units like Jinyuin, like Dr. Ratio, which I bring them up a lot, but they have a lot of toughness damage on their hits. And the fact that those characters can buff up Topaz and throw her up into the top of the action slot, well, boom, you just see the full toughness bar just go away just from Topaz and Numby non-stop attacking, from Numby being able to advance herself forward through her skill, with being able to do the same thing with the ultimate, with every type of hit that happens. There's just a lot that goes on with taking away the toughness bar, with taking away everything with Ruan-Mei, and then not having to single out another DPS. And the fact that she has amazing utility, especially if you're going to be looking for her Lycone on her rerun eventually, which I cannot wait for her to come back, especially how like Kafka is right now, where a lot of people are looking forward to picking her up, just because of course we know that right now we are going to be seeing that Black Swan possibly might be a dot unit, which we cannot wait for the live stream to happen. The same reason why Kafka is such a good investment, why a lot of people are looking towards getting her, and if they like the dot team, is the same reason why you would look towards Topaz and Numby if you really like the follow-ups that come with Erudition or every other path that has follow-up attacks. And looking at her light cone especially, is that this is a very good utility light cone. Not only does it boost her own damage with follow-up damage and also crit rate, you also get a tame state, which is the debuff added on top of it, something helping out Dr. Ratio and also helping every other ally, just because it will increase the crit damage dealt by a certain amount based on the tame stacks that you have in this light cone. So not only is Topaz and Numby themselves a great buffer and a great damage dealer, and someone that is always going to be high in investment, high in someone that is going to be having a lot of value in this game, but if you ever to pick up her light cone, you're only getting more value added on top of it and making not only her a better damage dealer, but also making her a better support. I'm just very happy that we have been progressively helping a lot of these characters that are in the game and also releasing units that are the leader of their teams. I don't mind this happening. I know I voiced my concerns with having something like the dot team with Kafka being the only retrigger, which in all honesty, I can't wait to see what Black Swan is going to be throwing at us when it comes to being a 5-star nihility that is potentially going to be a dot unit, most likely. We have seen characters like Pella, So Wolf, and all these other I said Pella like she's a 5-star. We have seen characters like Welt and Silverwolf that have the nihility path as well. It's just that it seems very fine-tuned that we are going to be getting her as a dot unit with the pure fiction that will be coming out. But looking at Topaz and Numby, they're a full complete character. They can be the hyper carry of a team. They can even be the sub DPS on a different team. And seeing that her kit is synergized with the whole stick of follow-up attacks, having it converted into, so I cannot wait to see what other playstyles we're going to be looking at when it comes to Topaz and Numby and how they're going to be working. And especially because we haven't seen this mechanic in a minute, if I'm not wrong, where matching weaknesses is going to help you increase damage. There's something really cool with Topaz and Numby that we haven't seen in a lot of recent characters, if I'm not wrong. Someone like Argenti, who has come out recently, I don't think they have anything in regards to physical damage, and they do not. So right now, looking at what we have right now for Dr. Ratio, for Ruan Mei, these characters are by far buffing themselves up, helping other characters out, and Topaz and Numby have just become such a great character. Like, I'm so glad that a character that I talked about in a more negative light back then, where I knew they were going to be strong. It's the same thing with Kafka, it's the same thing with Topaz and Numby, and Kafka's going to get her time to shine very, very soon. But looking at her back then, seeing that she didn't have a lot of options, seeing that she didn't have the right team structure at the current moment to be able to do the best of what she could do at her max potential, and now seeing that we both get not only Dr. Ratio and Ruan Mei, and see what they're able to do both in terms of helping out her main mechanic, which is the follow-up attacks, and wanting to hit a certain unit with follow-up attacks, because Dr. Ratio kind of takes out the RNG of that with a lot of the enemies or a lot of the characters that you would run on Topaz and Numby's team, either having RNG hits, hitting the enemies after a certain condition, which takes a little bit of time, not really giving Topaz and Numby what they would want, and then also having a support character that is by far just synergizes very well with Topaz and Numby. Someone like Ruan Mei, who's able to have weakness break efficiency with how high damage and toughness Topaz and Numby are able to do, being able to buff out their damage purely, making them a really good damage dealer, and then overall just helping out, not single out the other DPS, so that you're buffing everyone. So Topaz, Ruan Mei are buffing up that one other character, you're still buffing up Topaz, she's able to do her damage, the other follow-up character can do their damage, and boom, it's just amazing just to see where Topaz and Numby are at the current moment. I'm glad. Hopefully they keep on doing this. Hopefully they make characters that make other teams super fun. I don't mind having these characters that get built out over time. Would it be nice to have the prerequisites before they come out? 100%. But is it 100% needed? No. I actually like to wait. Everyone, if you enjoyed Topaz and Numby before, while she was as her by herself, see that you're getting a character like Dr. Ratio, see you're getting a character like Ruan Mei, and it's really cool to see that we're doing that. So other than that, that's going to be it for this video. I'm just glad that they're in the place that they're in. It's a really good feeling to see that this character has by far went from one of the characters that I didn't look at very well when it comes to the team that they were able to be in, and the synergies and the team structures that they had that kind of made it to where they were kind of a weak link in the team, where you could have put in another support. But now that Topaz and Numby, they can do their own damage, they can support whoever the heck they want when it comes to follow-up attacks, and seeing where they're at right now with other 5-stars, it's a really good feeling for everyone that is a Topaz and Numby main, or people that will be summoning for Topaz and Numby. So other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the time the video. It's nice seeing where this is going. I like seeing the direction of a lot of these 5-stars getting buffed up, or already having really good teams to be on as soon as they drop. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.